Veteran of the Week 26, 17 to 23 October 2022. Captain David Meikle, 5th Battalion, Saskatchewan Regiment, Canadian Expeditionary Force, First World War. Captain David Meikle of Pennant, Saskatchewan was born on the 11th of June, 1883, in the Pines, Ayrshire, Scotland, to Mr. and Mrs. David Meikle. He worked as a general merchant and was a member of the Canadian militia, having served 3 years in the 27th Light Horse. He was second in command of the Swift Current Squadron of the 27th Light Horse when the unit left Swift Current for Camp Valcartier, Quebec. It was at Camp Valcartier on the 21st of September, 1914, he enlisted in the Canadian Expeditionary Force with the 5th Battalion, Saskatchewan Regiment. Captain Meikle was described as being 5'9.5" tall, with blue eyes and dark hair. He was married at the time of his enlistment, as his next of kin was his wife Elsie Gertrude Meikle. Captain Meikle and the 5th Battalion sailed overseas aboard the SS Lapland on the 4th of October, 1914. He was wounded in action on the 21st of April, 1915, via a gunshot wound to his hand. His wound was treated at No. 3 General Hospital, Le Tréport. He was discharged to duty on the 28th of April that same year. Captain Meikle was the first man from the Swift Current area to be wounded during the First World War. Unfortunately, Captain Meikle was killed in action shortly after having returned to duty, as he was killed in action on the 25th of May, 1915, while fighting at the Battle of Festubert. He was 31 years old. While serving in France, Captain Meikle wrote several letters to the local newspaper, the Swift Current Sun, in which he detailed the health and morale level of the Swift Current men serving there. The last letter he wrote to the Sun was about the bravery of the Swift Current men who fought at the Battle of St. Julien. The letter arrived a few days after the captain had been killed. Captain David Meikle is commemorated on the Vimy Memorial located north of Arras in Pas-de-Calais, France, as he has no known grave. In addition to being commemorated on the Vimy Memorial, he is commemorated on page 28 of the First World War Book of Remembrance. He was posthumously awarded the British War Medal and the Victory Medal. In addition to his medals, his widow Elsie was awarded his memorial plaque and scroll and his cross of sacrifice. His widow Elsie later remarried as Mrs. McInnes and moved to Markinch. She would later again move to Vancouver, BC. This week we honor the service and sacrifice of Captain David Meikle of Pennant, Saskatchewan, lest we forget.